This podcast is brought to you and sponsored by Sarah J TV. Check her out on YouTube. And inspired by her work line, here's a smooth and sexy song that I'm gonna do for you right now. Careless Whisper by Wham.
So weird.
Yeah,
It's
anyway.
such a weird way to start the show.
Make it big.
It's the best one. Do you want to join in?
Absolutely.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Do you want to sing?
I was just kidding.
Yeah, Bam, you're really like embarrassing us. This is like not a good way to start a show.
This is the episode 1. If you don't like me now, you're gonna hate me by the end of this.
Okay, so like same as always, the way that I kind of want to start the show is I'll ask you next. First, I want to start with like Bam. He's kind of our barometer of what's okay to say. What's pissed you off this week?
Alright, I want to first like backtrack because like there's something that I feel. If you watch the last one, listen to the last one, you know, I get very annoyed in public situations, and I got to a
He's
point.
not good in public, basically.
Nah,
Not the best year.
and like I got to a point where I think now that I've done this thing, maybe I'm ready to move on in my life and get over the fact that the public suck as a general thing. So I was on the tube. It was the end of the
Subway.
work day. Yeah, I was, the subway.
I'm gonna just basically help translate as you
Right.
go.
Okay.
I was on the tube today too, but it was a different one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What happened on the tube, Bam?
And
I was up and down.
ours kind of just goes like that.
Right.
Yeah, and basically, you're on the subway, tube, and the seat becomes available, right? But it wasn't like that. The girl and I had this exchange where I was like, no, get up first, and you get off the train, because I know that the train stops quite quickly and you might miss your stop sort of thing. So I was like, okay, you get up. And while I've sort of moved, and I'm obviously going to sit down because she's like, take the seat. I'm like, no, you go first. I'm trying to be a gentleman, etc. You got to do those things when you're in public. I try to be nice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As I've done this, yeah.
You're obviously British.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
He's very British.
I was raised in a good family home with one mother, and
As opposed to two.
yeah,
Yeah,
or just a absent
None.
father, and like
I know about that life.
yeah. So there I was, and as I've gone to usher her out, right? This guy with his girlfriend, he's just gone and sat in a seat, yeah? Which is like a dick move, do you know what I mean? You've seen the exchange, like, you've swooped in. The worst thing is, you haven't even given your girlfriend a seat yet, first, like, you know what I mean? Like, you've gone in and just taken a seat.
What? So this guy was with his girl and he took the
Yeah,
seat.
he just swooped in, yeah? And eventually, luckily the one next to became available as well, because the guy's like, oh, move, do, that sort of thing that British people do.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that pissed me off. I'm like,
Why
"You
did
fucking
that
take
annoy
my
you
seat."
though? Just because this guy...
No, because it was an unspoken thing in which the woman and I had exchanged. She was like, take the seat. And I was like, no, you go first. She said, taking the seat. She was sitting on it. Therefore, finders keepers, it's her seat currently. She's now given reign over to me by saying, take the seat, right? Take
And it
my
wasn't.
throne.
He stole that seat from you.
Thank you. He stole the seat,
And
right?
he didn't even steal it for his girl. He stole it for himself. 'cause
Exactly.
He's selfish.
And you'll find out what a slimy motherfucker this is by the time we get to the bottom of it, right? So, that's first offense. I'm a free strike kind of person. I like baseball, whatever. Like, strike one. That was that, right?
Okay.
So now, you're meant to take your bag off when you're on the thing because it creates more space. So I've put it by my feet. It's partly touching his foot, right? He doesn't say, excuse me, can you move your bag or anything like that. He's just looking me dead in the eye. And he just picks my bag up and just goes, just puts it down, right? I'm like, this is strike two.
Okay,
Like-
now, wait, I have to know, because in America, at this point, like, there's going to be a huge confrontation.
No,
But we're not in America right now, so what
Exactly.
happens?
What would happen in
happens
America?
like, it depends on if you're a verbal confrontation person or you're physical. Like, if you're a good dude, you might be like, what the fuck, bro?
Okay.
Like, that's my fucking bag. You can't touch my fucking bag. I know I did
Why
that.
went everyone? No, it's worth it. No, it showed
Yeah.
how
But
aggressive
then,
America is.
Like, women might be like, excuse me, don't fucking touch my shit, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there would be like some shoving and like you might, yeah. And then it might be a little like chesty ponying, like, no.
Like
Yeah.
prodding?
Yeah, prodding.
yeah, like that's before a fight
That's
situation.
like, and then somebody comes in and like, stop. You go over there, go. With your
So it's
bag.
like a teacher, like student situation where someone has to come in and like mediate it.
Yo, yes.
So what happens in England, Bam?
What
Right?
happens in
So
England?
basically, I'm like, and people around me, because it's England, they're like, looking at each other, just sort of like, can you believe what he's done? Because in England, no one's going to say shit, but we're all going to acknowledge it. Like, I can't believe he's done that. Oh, he's touched his bag, right? So that's happening, yeah? I'm
Yeah.
like, strike two.
He's a lesson learned.
The rage is inside of me. And in my head, this is why I don't get into public situations, because I'm now like, kick this guy in the face. Use this bar above you and swing. Use all of your
You're
force.
American.
Get the momentum going and boom, right? That's what's going on in my head. So I'm like, I can't do that. I'll
So what
get
actually
arrested.
happened?
So,
Yeah.
right, I'm about to get off the train. I'm like, I'm gonna leave it. Be a good person. You've already had enough goes at people. You had to go at a woman for coughing. You're losing your mind.
Okay.
Get it
Wait.
together.
Let me. Before we move on past this, so like, Bam like messaged my work group. I'm Bam's boss basically. Like we work together. I'm like we're best friends,
Right.
but also I'm his boss. He messages in the thread, and some woman coughed on a bus next to him. She didn't like cover her mouth. So
Yeah,
he
she was
made,
going,
no. But the way that he dealt with the situation, he got his phone on selfie cam and went, "This is a woman who doesn't cover her mouth on the bus," and then just points the camera at her, and she's just like, and then he's just like, "Disgusting," and just like cuts the video, sends it to me, and I was just like,
Fuck yeah.
That's the one more time because that wasn't correct, but that's what you do. That's the reaction.
"So you
She
think
was
that's
a kid.
okay?" I was like, "Bam, you got anger issues, man. You can't go around doing this shit."
You know, I'm not saying it's okay, but if you're gonna go left that way. Yeah.
So,
Like if you're gonna go like rogue, just that's the direction
That's
to
what
go
I'm
in.
saying.
It's not
Okay.
humiliating, as opposed to like chesty poking.
so as a best friend, was I wrong to say he was wrong about that?
You know what? He was. What's you? I think cheeky is the word you would use.
I mean, it's cheeky.
It's very cheeky.
Yeah.
No, it's cheeky.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we filled in that gap. Bam, what
Right.
happened next?
So
to
I'm saying,
Mr.
don't do it, man. Don't do it. You're gonna like. But at the same time, I'm like, no, you can't let this guy punk you like this. This is a disrespect. He looked you in the eyes and touched your bag. Like that's my property. That's theft.
Like,
That's
he
like
was
theft
almost-
for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I was gonna say he stole it for a moment.
Exactly. And so I'm there, and I'm like, what can I do? I can't let this rest. I'm there, and I'm just sipping. Just sipping my water.
Did you start sweating by any chance?
No,
Did you go Luke Cage?
I'm about to get off the train, right? But I'm like, no, fuck this. Take it off. I just stand over him and just pour it into his lap, yeah? Because now it's going to look like he pissed himself, right? Traveling home, right?
You see what Bam's like?
So I just pour it over him, and he doesn't say anything. And this is why this guy's a fucking cunt, right?
Fucking British! I'm telling you, these are British people.
No, but his girlfriend goes, what are you doing? And I just go, and walk off the train, yeah? But like, you know, you've taken the seat before your girl. You've let your girl defend you in the situation. You haven't stood up or tried to fight me or even say anything. You've just sat there and go, oh, as the water.
I am so
Yeah.
shocked. Like, Americans and British have like these key differences, and that is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
If someone poured water in my fucking lap, I'd punch them in the
Exactly.
face so quickly.
Exactly.
I don't feel comfortable when people touch my belongings, ever.
Right, what would you do if someone poured water over you on a train?
Oh, I would chase them down and beat their ass.
No, get poured water on in public.
I might
In
have-
front
I
of
might
your
have set
partner
your
as
hair on
well.
fire, keep
Yeah.
it real. I would have pulled out my lighter and like.
I mean, that's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best way to deal with that situation. Sarah, what's annoyed you this week?
Oh man, you know I've been doing a lot of traveling, and I think the most annoying thing is I was in Paris.
Yeah.
I don't speak French.
No.
I was there for 28 hours.
Okay.
So I'm not going to learn French for 28 hours
No,
worth
it's
of the
pointless.
trip, right? I had some things I needed to mail, so I get up early. I check but the night before to see what time the post office opens up. I get up early and get there right after they open. Like 9:18 I got there, right? And I'm standing in line. It's a long line. I get to the front of the counter, and I had a French roommate. And my French
Okay.
roommate was like, to get on, you know, in France, the thing that you need to know how to say is, do you know how to speak English, which is parlez-vous anglais,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So as long as you open with that, if they know any English, they'll at least try to make an effort to like communicate with you, and they won't be offended that you're just throwing their language to the curb, you know?
Mhm.
And I'm like, I get it, okay. So that's always worked.
Mhm.
I'm at the post office, and I get up to the front desk, and I asked this lady, I said, parlez-vous anglais? No. And she looked away disgusted, like, no. And I'm like, okay. And I start pointing, like I go back to like
Yeah,
caveman, you know, I start pointing and picking things up, like I need this box and this box. And I'm like, s'il vous plaît, you know, like I'm trying the best I can.
Yeah.
She mad, and she like gives me all these forms. I have all these forms, and more forms, and more forms. I take all my stuff in the pen, and I go fill out all the forms. And it really took me about 45 minutes to fill the forms out.
Did you go to that stage
I'm not
of
friendly
trying?
even.
But
It's worse.
but did you get to that stage where you're kind of like a deaf person asking for like fast food outside the window, where you're like, chips? Could you? Where you
I
have
would,
to like
like-
over accentuate
I was
everything that you're
beyond
saying.
that because she's French, and so she is still speaking to me in high speed French. Like I am gonna just magically start understanding it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna magically fucking start understanding French just because you're speaking more of it. I'm not. Like I cannot understand you, lady. Please do not speak anymore because I'm not understanding it at all.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, and I just take all this stuff because I am a smart, intelligent being, and I do just want to get out of this situation. I just want to get out of France, okay? I just want to get out of Paris. I want to get out of France.
Yeah.
I want to mail my box.
Yeah.
I fill out all this stuff, and I'm like woo-sighing the whole time, and I'm like, okay, and I'm filling out all the paperwork, and everything's good, and it takes me like 45 minutes to fill this paperwork,
Yeah.
and I get back in line, and I go to like pay for it and everything, and she's saying a lot in French. She is just like, France, France,
France.
France, and I'm like, I don't know, and she just keeps doing it, and then she points at the thing, and I try to start putting it together, and I'm like so upset that I'm here. I just want to leave right now, and I'm starting to panic because I also am not good in public situations,
Yep.
and there's all these French people now behind me because it's now like almost 10 o'clock, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I realized that she wants me to have a French address, and I have an American address, and I'm like, I don't live in France. And she tells somebody to tell me that I should put down my hotel address, and I'm like, I checked out of my hotel. I didn't
Yeah.
even have the address with me. You know, my phone's like dead, and yeah, and she was just not helpful at all. Like, I really feel like people in France, not only do they want to preserve their history and their culture, which I can admire and I can completely understand, but they don't want to help you, and they don't want to communicate with others. They don't want to even, like, I live in Cuba, basically, to keep it real. I live in
Yeah.
Little Havana in Miami, and people there would like to communicate with you even though you do not speak their language, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
The people in France don't want to help you at fucking all.
No, they
It's
don't.
like,
They don't.
I
That's
just
just
want
a
to mail
general
this
thing.
shit out, bitch.
No,
I just
like-
want to mail it out.
The French people are like some of the most rude people in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
that's just it.
I take open
We're
the
not going to
box.
build a big we're not going to build like a big fan
Bam.
base in France. Like Bam got it. Bam got it. I got it a little bit late, but like basically France is the least helpful country in the world. Like generally they like
Yeah.
feel so disgusted if you do not make an attempt at their language, and they get like really fucking particular about it. I find asking them really weird stuff in French actually like brings a little out of them. So next time you're there,
Yeah.
say like "Où est le poulet?"
Which
It-
is what?
It means where is the chicken? But like if you just like
Oh,
if you
right,
start with
right.
something like that, it catches them
Right.
off guard because
Okay.
they don't know how to like. Or
React.
it's
Well,
just
let me
same
tell
as
you, I reacted like bam.
okay.
You have
What
to.
happened? Okay, what happened? You poured
So-
water on it?
No, but these boxes had these little like zip open things. Like I'd already sealed the boxes. It was 2 boxes. I'd already sealed them and everything. And they have that little thing that you can like pull and like makes it pop open. I pull the things and I take the boxes and I dump them back in all the stuff like real like I dump it all back in my bag and I drop the boxes and I put my backpack on and I leave. Like fuck you,
Bam
fucking
had a
French
similar
bitch.
story on our last like thing because someone didn't know what the chemical makeup of paint was. He threw a dustpan and brush down an aisle, so a 92-year-old man had to pick it up.
Oh, that's rough. Okay, but as I was leaving, I was like, bonjour.
Okay. You dancing girl emoji.
Yeah.
Just chucked it. Dancing girl emoji and fucking left the building. I kind of like, I respect
Yeah.
that heavily. I
Yeah.
respect that heavily.
What are you?
Yeah. What's
Okay.
emoji?
Apart like work's been pretty busy, but like probably the only thing that's annoyed me this week was the fact that I met one of my like idols. So like yesterday, me and Bam went to a screening of Black Mirror. It's a show that I love, and the writer Charlie Brooker, like he inspired a lot of like how I like approach media, and we met him. And like the whole time I was like, nah, it's not the right situation to go and talk to someone. It's not the right situation to get a picture. And Bam was like, nah, man. And Bam's like taking weird selfies. So like any opportunity that he notices that Charlie Brooker is behind him, he stands there and he takes a selfie with like half his face in and just like Charlie Brooker like slightly behind him. He's taking these really fucking like strange selfies. And he's just like, oh, I'm here with him. And just like he keeps taking these weird pictures and I'm kind of like, bam, like what are you doing? You're embarrassing it. But like at the same time I'm saying, he's at your 6 o'clock right now. He's at your 8 o'clock. Get a picture. And he's taking these really fucking like,
You know how many
strange
people
pictures.
do that to me
I imagine that happens to
Yeah.
you all the fucking time.
all the fucking time.
I imagine that happens all the fucking time.
Like so much, like I feel like constantly, like every moment of every day. Like
Someone
I'll be at a
can get a
concert and there'll be people in front of me doing it and people behind me doing it. Like you know, at a stadium or something, there'll be people in front of me going like this, doing the band thing, and then there'll be people behind me going like.
Okay, so Bam is that guy who's probably getting that picture of you. Bam is probably that guy.
I got one earlier.
And
It's okay.
Oh, did you do a weird selfie of Sarah? Okay, we can't confirm it. We can't confirm it. But like, so like we watched the premiere of the new series of Black Mirror. We're watching it. It's fucking brilliant. We're in the cinema with my idol, and afterwards they're coming around. I've had like 8 glasses of free wine at this point. It's one of those like wanky parties that we go to, and like they're hanging like it's one of those places that's so wanky. They're bringing out like beef Wellington, but it's just on a spoon. So it's like mashed potato and then a tiny strip of beef.
That's a French word they call that. They call that a mouji bouchi or something like that.
Amuse bouche.
Yeah, that's something about your mouth.
Yeah, amuse bouche.
It's like a starter.
It's a start. It's
So
a
you
bit
know
like
a little French.
yeah. You guys got time for
Well,
it.
yeah, you know, I just can't speak it. I can read it.
There's a don't worry. There's a bad joke. I've got a little French inside you. No, so then it gets to a stage where like Bam's like, we're gonna get a picture, bro. Yeah, we're gonna get a picture, bro. And I was like, no. Like, let's leave it. Like, I've got to look professional in this environment. We can't do it. And he's like, no. Trust me. You're my best friend. I've got to do this for you. So I was like, okay, cool. What are you gonna do? And he goes up to him and he's like, yo, Charlie Brooker, like it's really nice to meet you. My friend has a message for you. And just walks away. And then I'm stood behind Bam. So Bam walks out of the way. And then Charlie Brooker's just like to me, you've got a message for me? I was just like, it's really, really nice to meet you. Thank you. But like, how creative? It's
People
like
used
I'm
to
gonna.
do shit
It's
like
like
that
I'm gonna
to
whip
me,
out
too.
a scroll and suddenly just be like,
No,
hello,
it's gonna
like-
be something cryptic.
It's like a mafia
The
message.
blue rose is melting in the forest.
I didn't have the quick wit to think of anything like that. All I had was just like, you're an inspiration to me. Thank you very much. You inspired a show of mine.
Or you're like, my friend is an asshole.
Like, I should have said that. Like, I've worked with so many big people. I've worked with like there's very few people that would actually like make me feel a certain kind of way that I'd work with. Quentin
Right.
Tarantino, DiCaprio, Gyllenhaal. Apart from that, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Charlie Brooker, out of like everyone I've ever worked with, was the first time I was just like, fuck, that's Charlie Brooker. And bam. Like later on, I saw a Facebook post by him. He was like, helped out my best friend, not such a bad guy, am I? I was just like, okay, so like, I could comment on this, but I'm going to leave it at that. But
I am a good friend.
yeah, no, like, I'm appreciative of the picture that we got, but like at the same time, you told him I had a message for you.
And
How
he'll always-
fucking creepy
He'll
is
always
that?
remember you now.
That's
I feel
true,
like I
though.
should have had a Valentine's card in my pocket or something just to pop out and just be like, will you be mine? Yeah, so that was
What
like
would
my
you have
weird
said if
week.
you said yes?
I probably would have blown him. Like that, I'm a completely heterosexual man. I'm confident in my sexuality, but that's probably the first time that I might have
Yeah. Just out of
swayed.
adoration.
If out of adoration, this guy has inspired me so much since I was young. If this guy was just like, yeah, you know what, like,
That's how it all starts, by the way.
blow me.
Yeah.
So is that how it started for you?
Yeah.
So-
Like with me, with a girl? Yeah, for sure.
Okay, okay. So how did it start for you? Like,
Yeah, like I thought there was a girl I thought was like hot, and she was But
Wait.
as a girl, it's kind of like adoration. Before you realize that you like developed into your sexuality, and you realize that you're actually like bisexual,
okay,
you kind of like you fancy women, like
yeah,
you know, like, oh, she dresses nice, and I like the way
Yeah,
she
yeah.
does her makeup, and her hair is pretty, and I wish my boobs looked like her boobs, and yeah, I kind of just like everything about her. And then as you get older and get more like into a sexual mindset, it's
Yeah.
like, I like her.
I feel like you're looking at me like I'm the woman in this situation. Do I need to go for a run? Have I developed boobs right now?
No, I'm pretending.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
an
okay.
actress, that's what I do.
Wow. wow. Wow, are we still in the room? I was in a scene right there. That threw me. That threw me. As a director, I was there. I was 100%
He was
there.
like, my boobs now.
No, honestly, I was about to go to the gym. I was
are
about to go to
pretty
the
good.
gym. I was just like, yo, is this like a commentary on
Oh,
myself?
that's funny. But yeah, it's all about starting with adoration.
Yeah, I agree. Talking about how we started.
Right.
Let me tell you how I lost my virginity. It's probably like the most awkward situation of my entire life.
Okay.
Um,
Mine was kind of.
And I'm also gonna find out.
Let's do our virginity stories. Let's do our virginity stories because like I
I'm
feel
not telling mine because it's just not good.
I feel
You know-
like-
you know when it's just like.
You have to tell it anyway.
no, we got to tell it.
Right.
We got all
Alright, fine. We've all got to tell it. but
We've got to tell our virginity stories. Basically, like
Right.
this episode is largely about.
Can we talk
bad
about when I
stories
feel
of
like I lost my virginity? 'Cause
No,
that's a very different
that's
thing.
bullshit. That's
You
bullshit.
know when you're like, yeah, I laid it down.
No,
for
because
the
you're
first
just gonna
time.
like
There's a
suddenly go
difference.
bow chicka wow wow and go into
Mine-
some like.
I didn't
No.
think mine was a great story.
My story is fucking awful.
Let's
man,
start
like-
with you then. And I
Let's
might
Okay,
feel.
okay.
Story.
So basically, I was 12. We'll start
Oh,
off with that.
shit,
I was
okay.
12. This girl was 17. We
Okay.
like
Wow.
so like looking back
Imagine.
like back then I was like, yeah, I'm a G. Like
You
now,
were.
Yeah,
now I
statutory
feel
rape.
like I was
You were
raped.
like-
I
Yeah,
feel
you
like
were.
I was raped. Like I feel
Yeah.
like this was like.
You're both a G and you were raped.
Yeah, statutory rape. I mean-
neither one of those are lies.
I was like, okay, I'm one of the first people
Yeah.
that lost my virginity in my year. This is a good thing for me. It wasn't. I lost my virginity
In
to
your,
my
like,
brother. That was a big
primary
thing for me.
Maybe she thought she was giving you a gift.
She did not give me a gift. It was anything but a gift. So like basically I was 12, she was 17. Like I was from North Yorkshire, like Middlesbrough. So I used to start like, all right, love, how you doing? So like I was like a lot more. My accent's gone now. But I moved down to South, and I started hanging out with kids that are all older than me. I remember like when I was like 11, 12, I was hanging out with 18 to 20-year-olds, and I was like, oh, this means I'm so cool. When I got to 18 or 20, I was not hanging out with 11-year-olds or 12-year-olds. Those guys are all paedophiles and there's something
That's
fucked up
weird.
with these people, man.
Yeah, what the
But
fuck?
like at one point, so like this girl was
Or maybe
like,
you were just real mature, no?
that's what I liked to think back then. But
Yeah.
like really,
At
I didn't know
12.
shit. I didn't
At
know shit.
12.
At 12, I was like, yo, I know shit about life.
Like I was
I didn't know fuck all.
I was really mature at 12, and a lot of times if I was around adults, because I was an only child,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
just keep my mouth shut. If you just keep your mouth shut, then they think that you're real smart.
So
Yeah.
I was the complete opposite. So like, because I moved down from up north to down south,
Yeah.
I was like, I've always been like massively chatty because like I'd always be the odd one out in every
Yeah.
situation. So like, if I went to school and there was some kid that tried to bully me, you'd find the hardest kid, knock him out, and then no one would ever fuck with you. And like that was like my mentality growing up.
Jail, yeah.
And
Yeah. So I had that jail mentality growing up. But like, I remember like I used to hang out with this
You
group.
got hotter.
Did I? Thank
Yeah.
you. I mean, it's all for you. But like, when I was like 12, like this girl was like, oh, let me come back to yours. I had a bunk bed, so that's a good start. We went back to mine, kissing or whatever, and she put on Cradle of Filth. Do you remember Cradle of Filth?
No.
They wore
Bro,
T-shirts that
she
said
was
stuff
hardcore
like.
raping you already, man.
She
putting
was
on
into
devil
death metal.
music.
She was into death metal.
like-
So Cradle of Filth were
Oh,
those
yeah,
guys that
yeah.
wore the T-shirts that said Jesus is a cunt, and like they were pretty outrageous.
Yeah.
And the music was that, like kind of like like it's pretty outrageous. So she was like, "Oh, let me put on my sex playlist." So her sex playlist was Cradle of Filth. It's Slipknot, but about 10 times more hardcore.
Right.
I was 12. I didn't really know what was going on, and I remember like everything was everything moved a bit too quickly. I remember like at one stage I looked down to like try and see what I was doing. I was 12, didn't know what the fuck was going on, and she was like, "Don't look down, you perv," and I was like,
You're the pervert.
"Okay."
Why can't
Okay.
you look down?
I don't know. I didn't
Is-
know.
I'm like, is that a
Or-
British
at that point, I was just like,
Okay.
I was like a meerkat. Suddenly, I just had to peer up and only stare forward. It's like I'd just been alerted to like look up. It lasted maybe all of 30 seconds, and I believe at one stage she said, "Are you in yet?" And I was like, I was so fucking like demoralized as a fucking like 12-year-old kid that like at this point I didn't do anything but get head from girls for about like 4 or 5 years where I was just like, I can't do sex, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. This is like so traumatic. I can't do sex.
How
so I'm
was
just not
that
gonna do
just
it.
getting head for a while?
Oh, it's great.
But
It
like,
was great. I mean, like,
do British girls give head?
yeah, some better than others.
Yeah.
But like, I was completely demoralized by the situation. I thought it was more of a thing to do with me more than it was to do with my age and the fact that I hadn't actually like grown into it yet.
Right.
But like, it like fucked me up so much that I'd never like tried again for about like 4 years.
That's funny.
But like I was thinking, I was like,
But yeah, 4 years at 12. You're suddenly just at the legal age of consent anyway. You're talking
Suddenly I
about
was
it.
16.
Like, do you know what I mean?
16.
Yeah.
bro, like 12, I probably had like 4 pubes or something, man. Like, I wasn't like ready for life. I was in year 8. I was in
Exactly.
year 8. But do you know, like, it's one of those defining moments that you're just like, yeah, like, is this me?
Yeah.
Is this me? Is this going to be like my whole life from now? It disturbed me.
It might be.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like,
it's not.
no, but
I don't feel like I need to back it. Do I need to back it up right
I'm
now?
gonna keep it real. If I was raped, I would probably feel bad for a couple years.
Yeah, I cold showered for 8 years.
Yeah, like
I did.
it is what it is.
Okay, so bam. No, we'll start with you, Sarah. What is your virginity story?
Well, just to like match up with yours, where you left off, I think mine might have laid out the rest of my life. To be honest.
That is okay. So it was that great from the
No,
moment?
I didn't say great. I said it might have laid out the rest of my life, like been a symbol.
How old were you?
I was 18.
Wow.
I was
See?
18. And the
12.
reason why I waited to be 18 is because
Did you judge me for losing it when I was 12?
No. I actually was always attracted to men. Like, I was never attracted to people my age. Like, never once was I attracted to, like, somebody my age. And I really wanted to have sex with a man.
Okay.
And all the men that you find before you're 18 are pervs, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being,
Yeah.
like, 14, and there was this guy who was, like, 25 that was, like, we'd make out sometimes, yeah. And, yeah, it was just, like, I was in weird situations like
Yeah.
that frequently. I was an only child, and I spent a lot of time with adults. So I just waited until I was 18 so nobody would get in trouble because in the States, the legal age is 18.
Okay.
And I happened to find like the only black man in probably 100 miles
Where were you?
in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I lived in a really white area, but I worked in a grocery store, and one of the guys that worked in the grocery store with me, he would flirt with me and stuff, and every now and then I would suck his dick, and then it became like more frequently. I gave a lot of head. I started giving head when I was like 15 though.
Okay.
I gave a lot of head for years.
Yeah.
Because I just wasn't attracted to these guys that I was sucking their dick. I just wanted to practice sucking dick.
So that was like something that you aspired to.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my mom actually had always told me, like, that was the way to a man's heart, was suck his dick and feed him.
I feel like that's the way. That's why you got into porn.
Maybe.
You know, your mum telling you that might be the reason.
Yeah, well.
She was like
I mean,
Yoda right there. This was your
Kinda.
path.
She knows, though. I mean,
Suck
is she
dick
lying,
too
though?
much.
So, like-
Is she lying? Is she lying?
I mean, she is not lying, but at the same time, most of the stuff that we hear in England is like, oh, a girl who can cook good.
Well,
That's
she
how
said
you
cook
get a
and
girl.
suck dick, you know?
Yeah.
So like at the same
Yeah,
time.
that's
well,
it.
one and then the other.
Okay,
over
yeah,
and
yeah.
over again.
Yeah.
It's a great combination.
No, it is a great
So,
combination.
anyway, I am,
Hmm.
I've been sucking dick for years, and then I meet this guy that I'm finally attracted to. Like, something about him, like, I really like him. Like,
Yeah.
I'm attracted to him finally. He's 36,
Okay.
and I am 18 now. So I wait until my 18th birthday. And I really don't think that he thought that I was a virgin. Like, I think he thought I was full of shit because, like, it wasn't even exciting for him. Like, most guys are like, fuck, I'm about to take this. It was, like, planned. I was like, as soon as I get ungrounded, I'm coming over and I'm going to fuck you.
It's probably the way that you suck dick. It probably
Yes,
led them
yes,
to believe that
yeah.
you're way more experienced than you were.
Yes, I was, like, all awesome already at sucking dick. And I had a lot of effort. There was a lot of effort I put into it. So I come over, and I remember it was December 16th, 1996, I think. 95. 95?
95.
Yeah. And there was a Mike Tyson fight on the TV, and he lived in the projects.
I love Tyson.
Yeah, and it was like him and his girl's bed, but like his girl and him had split up, I guess.
That's what
Yeah.
you said at the time.
Yeah, but I didn't know this until I got there, and I was like, this is my first time at his house, by the way.
Okay.
Like, this is my first time at his house, and I was like, there's, like, a lot of floral stuff here. Like, and he was like, oh, like, my girl and I split up, and, like, okay, well, I'm here already, like, yeah, whatever, let's just do this. And I remember him getting on top of me and, like, watching the Mike Tyson fight while he was fucking me.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And I was like,
Fucking
I remember being
hell.
on my back and being like, hey, like, I want wanted him to be into it so I could like be into it, you know? I wanted it to work out. And then he came and I got up and went to the bathroom and I was like, oh, I guess I'm done.
Fuck that
And
is.
then, there was like an ambulance outside and there was like a shooting going on too.
Oh, okay.
Like, so there was like all these like sirens and stuff and the Mike Tyson fight and it was like.
You had a very, like, not necessarily that it was aggressive at the time, but like everything around
Yeah,
you was
exactly.
pretty fucking
Yeah.
aggressive.
There was a lot going on and it was like, please, no, come, right here.
Did you like, not like,
I wasn't there yet. This is my first time.
Okay.
Like the man, I don't know. He's 36.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
I'm 18. I'm a
She
virgin.
could have died.
Okay, so like talking about this exact situation, I remember when I was in like high school and there was girls who were like 16 who were dating 40-year-olds, and because they're above that like statutory rape stage, they were like, they thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But like now I'm like 28, I probably wouldn't date anyone or like fuck anyone under like 25. So the whole like idea of someone who was like in school when I was like in high school, someone who was 16 dating someone who was 40, I feel like there's something really fucked up with those people
There
who are
is.
doing that shit.
There is.
I feel
Yeah,
like
it
that
is
is
fucked
like
up.
it's
They
keeping
just
it borderline, but like I
they
don't
just young
understand like
pussy.
yeah, but like I don't feel like I would have like for me it's not like sex isn't that much of a difficult commodity, but like if like you wanted to I need to be able to have a conversation with someone, man.
I actually
And like I
have-
don't feel like I could have a
And, well,
conversation or relate to someone who is like
obviously,
16.
Being in what industry I'm in, I come in contact with a lot of people with a lot of different sexual like hang-ups and fetishes
course.
and stuff like that. And I actually have friends who they are the opposites. They would prefer not to speak to the people they have sex with at all, and they don't want to think of them even as a human. They kind of like objectify
That's
them.
butters though.
Yeah,
that is like
that's-
literally disgusting.
I can't say it's disgusting to me, but if you are doing
You
that,
get it.
then you also need to have a personal relationship with a different human being. Right?
Of course.
If you're going to be using other people as objects, that's fine, I guess, if they're cool with it. But then you need to have like interpersonal relationships in other ways.
See the thing for me though is I can't get into it if there isn't
I'm
some
not-
sort of like
I have to say my life has changed over the past decade or so.
I imagine.
And I honestly was much more like not just like slutty, but like, yeah, I want to take a bite out of everything and I want to try everything at least, twice.
Yeah.
But now I'm at a point now where I really need to connect with people and I need to like really like understand what you're about and like before you don't touch me.
Yeah, of course.
I need to know you like
I think
in the avatar way.
Yeah.
I need to know you in the avatar way before you touch me at this point.
I think,
unless,
like-
unless it's work, which I don't care then.
I feel like it's probably like I feel like it's probably more crazy for you.
Or like
But,
a
like,
bottle of
I
wine.
probably
A
had
bottle
it-
of wine does it too though.
I probably had a stage where like I thought it was like so many people and it was like it got to a stage where it's just not fun anymore and like it needed to be something that was actually like interesting for it to actually work. I imagine it's like for you it's like 100 times
I
amplified.
had a method. Like I had a method, right? So like first you get rid of the people that you can't talk to before or after sex. And then you get rid of the people that you can't have a meal with. And then you get rid of the people that you do not want spending the night at your house. And then you get rid of the people who like you couldn't hang out with for more than a day or two. Right? And then you just end up with like nobody.
It's like an X Factor audition. Like you gotta get through every stage. Simon Cowell in it out here.
Yeah. So, that's where it's at. It's like you keep shrinking your circle down until it's a dot.
That's amazing.
No,
I feel like Bam,
Yeah.
you need to tell us your virginity
Yes.
story.
Alright,
I feel
so-
like we're missing out here. We've told ours, we've bared
And he
ourselves.
said
to you.
his was really shitty, so I'm waiting for it.
No,
to
but
be
I feel
worse.
like he means it's boring.
Yeah, like I was 14 and I fucked a ginger kid. Yeah, not a kid.
Ginger kids.
She was 14 as well.
Okay.
Like-
I'm
Girl,
glad. Like, I just want
I'm
to
just trying to
highlight.
downplay that she's ginger. Like, don't focus on that.
Yeah, but
like,
what's wrong with ginger girls?
Regardless.
Yeah, what's wrong with ginger girls?
Yeah.
I don't know. At the time, gingers weren't in favour then. They've really come up in the past few years, you know. Like,
They
no,
really came up in the last
I think like with like things like Game of Thrones and all these sort of like Celtic based.
Yeah,
like,
gingers
things,
became hot.
Yeah, they made gingers hot again.
Yeah,
but
but
before that, bro, back in those times,
They're
they
all
were
like spunky
No,
with attitudes and stuff too, though.
no, but like it wasn't like.
No, I've
that.
been feeling gingers, man.
No,
It's
I'm
not
talking.
wrong.
Yeah, in
Your beard's a little ginger,
2016.
you got a little ginger
My,
in your
no,
beard.
so like I think like I don't like basically I don't know my family at
Yeah.
all, so I don't know what my heritage is. I know my mum's cool, but like I don't know like where my dad's from. I don't know where all that side of the family's from. My dad left when I was 2. Oh, but like I know tiny violin for that. So like I'm blonde up top. Never had a beard in my life. At the tender age of 28, I managed to grow a beard, and suddenly it's ginger. It's the first
Fucking
thing
weird,
people
right?
notice. It's weird.
All my body hair, my eyelashes, my eyebrows, all are blonde.
Really?
And this is my natural hair
This
color.
is actually your natural hair
Yeah.
color.
And, and I'm curly, and no one in my family has curly
I
hair.
mean, like, I might have seen you about somewhere, so I always thought you were blonde.
Mm-mm.
Oh, really?
This is natural.
I mean, like,
This is right out the shower.
I think I
as a matter
probably
of fact.
saw you in Little Havana or something.
Right,
That's
on
probably
my
where I
tricycle.
recognise you from. Yeah, that's where it's. Couldn't be anywhere else.
It was my teen years for me, but that's what it is.
What, you went to Little Havana when you were a teen?
Yeah, I went to Little Havana a lot of times.
Little Havana is
Yeah.
a great place to be.
Wow. Okay, so let me tell you my most embarrassing like story of.
I want to know where it was, though.
Oh wait,
He didn't give me
no.
any more details.
So all he said is a
like,
14-year-old
this
girl
is what
and
I do
ginger.
for a living.
We were
so-
going out, and then you get to that point where
Where
you're
were you
like,
going?
no, like we were
Okay.
seeing
Yeah, so in
each
England,
other,
if you're
like,
together, you're
yeah,
going
yeah,
out.
Right. Back in the
Yeah.
day when you were a child.
So
Right.
it's that situation, and then like if you
Where'd you do it at?
in my house.
Were you in your
Was
bed?
your mum there?
Yeah, in my bed. No, she wasn't. Obviously, at 14, you're like, yo, mum's not gonna be in tonight. Come round.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? You gotta play it
Walk,
like
take
that.
a walk.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Like
What was your
Superbad
soundtrack?
fuck a soundtrack. It was the
Yeah.
sound of love. That's
my
what it was.
My soundtrack was Mike Tyson fighting sirens. Yours was some death metal band.
The sound of love. You mad, bro?
Yeah.
Which is also known as balls slapping pussy.
Yeah, and like team grunts and shit. Like,
Is that ball slapping pussy? I feel
Sounds
like it's
like-
more like
yeah,
that's more accurate. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it.
more
Well,
accurate.
until it gets wet.
Okay. I've got several of these, but let me tell you my most embarrassing porn stories.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like you'll probably be able to trade off with me on this.
Yeah.
So I went to France one time. I was camping with a family. I was probably about 13 at this time, and we had a camping trip. And my mum and dad had gone out. We'd been out. We used to like go and meet girls. Like we'd meet like Polish girls. We'd meet like Romanian girls, whatever. And we'd always ask, what are like basically take off your clothes, kiss me, suck my dick, blah blah,
Right.
in that language.
Right.
So like in Polish, like for example, kiss me is posaj mnie, or like kiss my ass would be like posaj mnie dupa, and we'd learn like stupid shit like
Right.
tramp is like bez dominaire, or like hobo is like bez dominaire, or we'd learn stupid shit like this. And I remember one time like my parents had gone out, my brother had gone out, and I was like, I don't have a computer here. I don't have porn here. Like, how am I gonna deal with this situation? I'd like a bash. Like I wasn't at a stage where I could like do imagination wanks. So like in this
Oh, I like that term.
imagination
Yeah, that's
wanks
what
are
it
kind of
is.
nice. You know, like at the time when you got something to
Yeah,
think
they
about
cut
and you're just
yes.
like, you've got something to go off.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I thought I'd draw my own porn, but like I got creative with it. I thought I would
Joey
draw.
did this in Friends.
I thought I would.
I've
I
never
thought.
heard of some crazy shit like this.
I thought I'd draw my own flipbook porn. So like, I've got a permanent fracture in my wrist. Like I snapped my wrist when I was like 10, so I can't draw very well and I can't write very well. It's lucky I'm a cameraman. It's lucky I'm a director because I don't have to do that. So I'd made pretty much stickman porn, but with over exaggerated tits. Basically, was the key term, and I'd worked out a device that I could flick it
Double flick action.
one-handed. No, it's one-handed. It was important that it was one-handed. Otherwise, how was I going to be able to?
That's what I mean, double flick.
So like, you'd have to stop because like the flick wouldn't take that
You
long.
gotta get in the stroke.
But the flick
But you
wouldn't.
drew it yourself, so you know how it's gonna turn out.
Yeah, but I'm
I'm so surprised.
Well, you always roughly know how it's gonna
each
turn
time
out.
I'd have to be like,
Like-
back in the room, not here. So probably that was like the most embarrassing like masturbation story that I've got. what is the most embarrassing masturbation story that both of you have?
Oh, mine's pretty intense.
Hit me up. Hit me up. I need
Yeah,
to hear
yeah.
it.
I'm gonna top it.
I need to hear it.
Yeah.
Bam
maybe.
will top it.
I'm
Whatever
gonna top
is.
it.
Okay.
I will top it after that as well. I've got
Nah.
more.
So I was like maybe 19 or 20 years old, and at the time I was married. I got married to. I got married very early. Yeah.
You've been married?
I'm not married anymore. I'm divorced, but I was married for 11 years. And
Fuck.
my
While you're in the porn business.
actually I got married before porn.
So
And then
you
you go porn.
after marriage you got into porn.
While I was married. Yeah.
Okay, how did that work?
That's a whole other story. It didn't really.
Okay,
I'll be
let's go
honest,
into
it
the
didn't-
masturbation
It didn't
story.
really affect it too much, to be honest with you. Like, our problems weren't related to porn.
Okay.
Yeah, we just grew apart. We're just different people. Yeah, it's like whatever. Anyway, another story. So, masturbation story. He happened to be locked up at the time,
Okay.
and this is actually before porn, you know, and I'm like really young. I just lost my virginity at 18. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm really young. I'm like 19, 20 years old, and he might have been like the 7th person I had sex with.
Okay.
Like I went on like a little mission right after, and then I found him, and I was like, so he's locked up at the time,
Yep.
and I had taken the day off work. I don't remember why. It was like a snow day or something.
Yeah.
And I was in my bedroom, and I lived in an apartment, like a big apartment, with his brother and his brother's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And his brother and his brother's girlfriend lived upstairs in the apartment, and we lived downstairs in the apartment. And I'm in my bedroom with my dogs are laying on the floor. I have dogs and stuff. My dogs are laying on the floor, and I'm on the phone with my ex, right? I'm on the phone with my man, and I am definitely masturbating. But I need you to visualize this, because this is
I mean, I'm going to.
1997-ish. Okay,
Okay.
it's a very long time ago. And I had one of those toys that had a battery box. So it had a cord, and then like it took like 5D batteries. So you had like this battery box here, right? And it's one of those like rabbit things with the pearls in it and the little rabbit ears. So it does a lot of stuff for a 1997 dildo. It like vibrates and rotates and lights up and everything. No, this is like an apparatus, and
Yeah.
yeah, I bought it just to like play with while he was locked up.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and I was
Thoughtful.
right. So I'm talking to him on the phone, and I'm doing it, and I might have had like, and everybody knows, if you don't know, I don't do anal. Like I don't do anal. That's not what I do.
You don't
But-
do anal.
I
No.
respect that.
I know.
There's too much anal in porn these days.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
I feel like
Thank
you've
you.
done anal.
I've never done anal.
She
Really?
hasn't.
Done anal.
She has not
Never.
Oh, how do you know, Bam?
documented.
Yeah, and it's documented. But we will document this. I was making the attempt to like possibly try anal at that point in my life, right? This was like probably one of the first few times I ever did anything to my asshole. So I've got like a tiny bullet, like, which is a little tiny vibrator, right, in my asshole, and a cord coming out. This is because this is 1997. We have cords on our fucking dildos still, right? So I've got a cord coming out of my ass with a battery pack coming this way, and I've got this big pink thing that lights up and all these and it grinds when it makes noises like. So the whole thing is like loud, right? And its cord's going this way, and I got my legs up in the air, and I'm on the phone, and it's a cord phone, by the way. You know, like
Yeah. Old school.
Totally.
Back in the day, when you had to be like.
It wasn't quite that. We were on the dial button one, but it still had a cord. So like I'm in there and I'm doing it and I'm talking to him on the phone and everything's cool. And then all of a sudden, his brother doesn't even knock, just opens the door really quickly and it's like, ah! And he starts screaming at me and I started screaming at him and I've got all these cords everywhere.
Fucking
And,
hell.
Yeah, like he just runs away. He slams the door and runs away, right?
Fucking hell.
And I'm like, okay, that was weird. I don't know what just happened. And this is before porn, so I was not open with my sexuality. Like, I'm just starting to learn my sexuality, you know? Like, I'm not used to being naked in front of people yet, really, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and his brother definitely never seen me naked, and yeah, that was not something that was cool.
That's creepy.
It was
Yeah.
so crazy, so we had to have like we didn't talk about it for a couple days, I think. And then when we were like alone together, and he was like, I'm sorry, and I was like, yeah, no worries about it. and I don't think we talked about it again for maybe like 7 or 8 years.
Okay, so like my first question here is, what was your first conversation after he saw that?
Yeah.
The first full conversation that
Well, did you go to the shop to buy that pasta? Pasta.
pasta, right?
Pasta.
No, it was like, are you gonna pick me up after work? You know, like I'm with the car, like we all shared a car kind of thing. You know, it's like.
And when he got in the car, when
Yeah.
you picked him up, what was the first conversation?
No,
there?
it's like nothing like that never happened. It was just like, have you talked to my brother today? How's he doing? Cool. Glad to hear it. You know, like it was just like that never happened.
Was it like 8 Mile with him just looking out the window?
Yeah,
Dun,
just-
dun, dun, dun.
No, both of us
Dun,
were
dun.
pretty cool. We kind of act like it just like didn't happen until we brought it up years and years later.
Fuck.
Like
man.
years and years later, we had a grown-up adult conversation. Once I
Was he affected by it?
Yeah.
no, but we wanted to like. It was one of those things. It was like we were like maybe smoked a little, and like we're at a coffee shop, like talking, and it was like, remember that one time? And I'm like, oh fuck that time. He's like, honest. I said, what happened there? He goes, I thought the dogs were fighting, and you weren't supposed to be home. He's like, he's like, I wasn't sure if the dogs were fighting or somebody broke into the house, but he had a machete in his hand. I didn't even know.
What?
Yes, I didn't even know.
A machete?
Yes, because he just opened the door like this and he had a machete in his hand. But I didn't. Luckily, I hadn't seen it.
That one time in
Yeah.
Wire Camp?
So yeah, that's. I'm glad we cleared the air because it was kind of funny, and like we wanted to get it out. You know, like it could have gone like British and just been unsaid and been
Yeah.
like awkward and uncomfortable. But after like growing up and this is what I do for a living, and I want people to feel comfortable talking
Yeah,
about
of
things
course.
like this. So we ended up talking about it, and it was like, I am so sorry, but I totally thought somebody had broken into the house. He's like, and then I was so embarrassed. He's like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, yeah, it's cool. I'm cool with it now.
That's fucking crazy,
Yeah.
man. At least he didn't like pour a bottle of water over your crotch or something like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they would have all went. like,
No, I think they're waterproof still.
So- well,
you
yeah,
can't-
they should be.
You gotta put the battery boxes over there because the battery box is probably not waterproof.
that should be the most waterproof thing in that situation.
Bam, what is your most awkward masturbation story?
Alright, this is like. The only way to explain this is you've got to get into my mind state. Because this is like the story of my porn addiction and what broke my porn addiction.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
so
okay.
He just said
So
he
this
is
had
not
a
deep.
porn addiction and now he does not.
Do you know what I mean?
So
now I
this-
just watch it casually.
Like,
Oh, you're
cheeky
chilling.
nights in. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, whoa.
Like,
Talking about chilling and watching porn, I'm gonna cut in. Sorry. But like every time I get an Uber driver, yeah, I try to ask them what is the most awkward situation that has ever happened to you.
yeah.
And I got in a cab the other night, and I was drunk as fuck. And I was eating a kebab, and this guy was just like, I'm not gonna do an accent, racist. So like, he was like, oh, just don't be messy. And I was like, no, I'm not messy. I'm cool. Don't worry about it, man. Ate it, and like 1 minute later, he was like, that chili's near the end of the box. No, he did an accent again. Didn't do it. But like, he was like, oh, that chili's about to fall over on the floor, and I was like, I ain't getting a good vibe from you, man. Let's just pull over. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna walk. We're good. So I got out of the cab, started walking up the road, ordered another cab, and this geezer picked me up, and I was like, yeah, this guy that I just got an Uber with was so rude. He was so fucking rude. I was like, he tried to make me feel like I'm bad. What is the weirdest situation that has ever happened to you? And he was like, okay, so do you know how you're sitting in the shotgun? You're sitting in the
Right.
passenger seat right now. Like, so some guy got in the cab. He was sitting next to me. And like, he didn't talk to me. And I was like, okay, cool. It's kind of normal. Sometimes that happens. And he was like, yeah, but he was just sitting next to me the whole time. And he's looking at his phone. And every now and again, he'd go, ha ha! And I was like, so like, what happened in this situation? Like, what was going on? And he was like, so like, I looked at his phone. I was like, what was going on? And he's like, you're just watching porn. So he's sitting in the Uber driver. So like me and you are sitting next to each other, and you're driving. So you're driving.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
We're obviously in England.
What is your reaction to that? So right now there is some DVDA going on.
I do.
Sarah's like,
I
oh,
do
shit,
porn.
that's me.
Right. No, I do porn. I'm like, what are you watching there? Oh shit, I've fucked in that house before. Oh, that's Tommy. I know Tommy. He doesn't that up and over thing.
But if you weren't into porn, what would be your reaction? Someone next to you just sitting watching porn.
I'm a little bit quirky, so I still would be like, "What are you watching?" "Oh, you're being naughty over there." Like, I might not relate to it, but I still would be curious.
But would you find it strange that someone?
I would just totally find it strange, but because it's so strange, I feel totally no problem asking them about it.
But it's not.
I like that about you.
Yeah.
I like that about you.
Like,
For me, if I was driving
But
and
I'm
I looked
also
next to me
American.
and some guy, yeah,
yeah,
you guys are more open. I
a
mean,
little
like,
bit more confrontational, I think.
yeah, I feel like in my situation, if I saw a guy and I'm sitting next to him, I'm just like, oh man, I've been having trouble with a wife. It's been difficult recently. Oh, excuse me? Like, I wouldn't know how to.
But it's just like, it's not a movie genre. Like, he's not like.
I love
feel
action
like,
films.
I feel like most people watch porn because they're gonna masturbate. Like, that's the general. But yet no one really like. Oh, so I was watching this great porno last night.
There are people, you're wrong.
For me,
You're
it's
wrong.
wrong.
You're wrong.
You're
So like,
Who are you?
my boy, like, so my boy, he works in London, but he lives in Kent. I won't say her name, but
Some
like,
of my best fans are like that. Like, they review it. They write down notes. Like at 1 minute and 37 seconds, she licked. Yes.
that's even weirder. But like my friend, he gets like a coach, like a bus, like a Greyhound to
Yes.
work, and like when he's getting a Greyhound to work, he's sitting in the back and he watches porn, but not to masturbate. He just
Yeah.
watches porn.
Okay, so the way that I got into porn, like, I never really watched porn. And my ex-husband's brother, different brother, I know, it's a big family, he really enjoyed porn. And I would take him to the shop after he got paid, and I would drop him off, and he'd come out with these big, it was VHS tapes back then, right? He'd come out with these big bags of VHS tapes all the time. And, you know, he had so many, I mean, like, more than you can possibly watch in a lifetime. But he would know what the latest release is, and, you know, what this girl's hair color is like now, and, like, you know, like, he watched it like a movie genre.
Yeah.
Like, you can't possibly went constantly, like.
Well, let's go back to my story.
Back to back.
That's the segue right there. So I got in. I was just in a place. I don't know what happens. I was in a relationship, which is the weirdest thing about like porn addiction. But the funniest
Was there
thing
much
is,
sex in that relationship?
there was like, but it was just like we got to a point where like I'm just like I'm not seeing her as much anyway. So I started watching porn, right? And then I just sort of like I was like, yo, man, like I haven't watched porn in a while. This shit is good these days. Like they've stepped it up.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 women now. It's not the same old like few
7,
faces.
right,
Like
yeah.
so you can just go through that shit. It's like who's she?
Was it like the
Did it-
transition between watching Channel 5 porn where like
The late
it
night
showed
stuff.
everything but dick?
No,
No,
because-
like back in the day in England,
Right.
it was like all you'd see is the
It
eyes
was
and
soft
be like,
porn. It was all soft.
and it'd be like
old
stuff.
school soft porn.
It'd be stuff like a guy would walk in the room and go, "Jesus, on a bicycle, fuck a blue duck." Just like it was like
Just that sort of stuff.
I
But
remember-
no, it wasn't that because like this is what I'm saying. Like this is recent. We're talking like last year.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. This is why it's like it's close to home, right? So it was in my home. Luckily, it wasn't one of those ones where like you get off in weird places or something, because then that's even worse in a weird way.
Yeah.
But so just in this sort of mentality, it's not like because I hadn't watched porn. It's just like just got back into it. Like, I know that's so weird. I just got back into it.
Yeah,
I was
it's
kind
like
of
hobby. It's
yeah.
a
I was in
hobby.
like
That's what I'm saying. People are hobbyists and they actually study it like a hobby.
yeah, and it's a hobby that makes you feel good by the end of it. It's like working out without having to
Until
do
you
the
catch
working
yourself
out.
in the reflection
you know
of
what I
the screen and you're just like,
Yo,
what is wrong with my life?
That happens, but this is what I'm saying. It got way deeper than that,
Okay, hit me.
right? So I'm getting at this point. I'm going at it most days, every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to a point where kind of damage my penis in the process, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not the
Yeah.
most resilient thing. Like it can't
I
go
hurt
forever,
my
right?
clit all the time.
Do you know what I mean?
I still hurt my clit.
And I couldn't masturbate, but I wanted to masturbate, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, what can I do, right? And this is when you get to a point, right?
I'm on the edge of my chair. What
Wait.
do you do?
This is where you realize you're in the middle of a porn addiction.
Yep.
Because I was like, I'm broke. I think if I had a fleshlight, it wouldn't hurt because my hand's too much, right?
Yep.
So I Googled how to make a fleshlight, right?
Well, you didn't buy
Oh,
one.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Right.
You didn't buy one.
I was broke at the time. I'm
Right,
like,
they're
I'm not like, I'm not like, I'm not.
I
yeah,
used
right,
to
hear
have a
this.
flashlight. I used to
Think
have
about
my own
this.
flashlight.
Think about
You
this
made
though.
your own?
No. The company Fleshlight made me one.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, I was a Fleshlight girl for a moment.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking DIY Blue
No,
Peter
I know.
situations.
The rubber glove.
Something.
and
it
the
was right.
sponge?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. But
The
like,
rubber
can
glove
you
and
walk
the
me
sponge in the
through?
jar?
Right,
You walk
this
me
is what
through
I'm saying.
how you made this flashlight.
Right. I didn't make it. I got close to making it,
Ah.
but I stopped because it was weird. The first thing is, why didn't I buy one? Delivery.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
It could be 14 days, whatever.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
waiting around. It's an addiction.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but I didn't have a Prime account. I was broke. You can't just always afford one. And I looked on there, and they don't sell them on there.
You're right. Good call.
There you go.
But they sell like generic ones.
Yeah, but I don't want that. If
You
I'm
want-
doing,
you
I
want
might as well
your
make
own
my own. Is
Right,
it like, do you know what I
right,
mean? I
right.
looked at it, I'm like, "Psh, I could make that at home. That was my mentality, right? So I'm like Googling this, yeah. And the amazing thing is, there's so much advice out there.
There
Just-
really is.
That's the freaky thing. So I felt a little bit comfortable. I'm like, I'm not the first man to have thought of this.
Oh no.
So I'm not weird,
You're
right?
Definitely not weird.
Yeah.
Then I got the materials together, yeah. It wasn't cling film. I think it was like a sandwich bag or some shit.
Okay. I've
So like
seen
saran wrap.
I've seen like latex gloves. And,
Yeah,
and
like,
sponges.
some shit like
in a
It's
that.
like
jar.
saran wrap.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
you're meant to like put it around like a pipe and
Yeah.
pad the pipe out. And I'm there padding the pipe out, and I was
Wow.
just like,
Literally.
if
It's
I
like-
do this,
Did you fuck it?
Okay.
no, I'm like, if I do this, yeah, I've crossed that line.
no.
Like I'm like, if I do this, yeah,
Silly.
and I tell this story and I fuck the fleshlight, my homemade flesh, like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm
should be
making this.
proud of that
I'm like,
shit,
it's not
especially if
even
it
gonna
works good.
fucking, it's not even gonna hold up. Like, do you know
It's
what I mean?
disposable.
It doesn't matter. What if it breaks midway? My penis is in a bad place. Yeah? Like, I'm not trying to like create more pain for this situation, yeah? So I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And also, like, because I physically couldn't.
Yeah.
I had to just stop. Like, do you know what I mean? I was just at such a low point that I was just like, you need to get a hold of yourself. And by this point, like, my relationship was getting bad because of it and stuff. And I'm like, yo, man, like, you're about to make your own fleshlight. Not only make it, fuck that thing.
I really
And I
feel
stopped.
like that's like the equivalent to like a stoner making a bong out of an apple.
Yeah, but I was also stone cold. That's why I had the idea. Like, do you know
So
what
the
I mean?
idea came when you were high?
This was a mix of like being this was when I was
Instead
smoking
of
back to
making-
back
right.
and masturbating, right?
You're like just
combined.
creative. Don't think negative thoughts. That's creativity, babe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I fucking made a flipbook porno. So
yes, fucking
creativity all
look
the
at
way
you,
around.
creative
Yeah, I
man.
mean,
So
if you wanna
like,
just like
I'm impressed. I'm
speak to
impressed with both
Fleshlight
of
or
you.
whatever for future
I'm
use.
impressed with you, and I'm impressed with you.
that's all I needed to
Thank
hear
you.
tonight.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to hear
That's some,
tonight.
that's some creative.
Let me tell you about my earliest experience of porn, and let's see if you're still impressed by me.
Okay.
So like basically, I was cycling a bike. I might have been 9. I was I was maybe on a chopper. I don't know, but it's probably just a bike. It didn't have like it didn't have wheel support, but like it was probably one of my first like proper bikes.
Oh, training wheels, yeah.
Yeah, I might have had training wheels, maybe. But like I was cycling, and like I saw a bush, and I was like, I'm gonna look in that bush, and I found a porn mag. I was like maybe.
Do you know what it was? Do you remember what it was? I'm just
No.
curious.
I've like taken it in. Like I was like 7. I'm 28 now, so it was like 21 years ago. I can't like.
Like score jogs or like gent.
Oh, it's probably tits all over the gaff. I don't know like what it was, but there was tits in places. And like I took it home and I was like, like oh, this is great. Like I was super excited about the moment. I was like 7. I didn't really know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
But I was like, yes, this is cool.
This is not.
So I was
for
like,
me.
you know how I'm gonna be cool right now? I'm gonna take that into my
School.
school.
Fuck yeah.
Like I'm gonna take that into my
Knew this
primary
was
school. And
coming.
I remember I was like,
Second grade or something, right?
I think that's probably the equivalent. I was like 7,
yeah.
8, something like
That's
that.
like second or third grade.
So I was probably like 2nd or 3rd grade, and I'm like, yeah. Like I was like peddling crack on the
Yeah.
corner. I was, like,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, do you want to see something that you ain't seen before? And they're like, what do you mean? It's like,
You want to see a dead body?
I was in Stand By Me. I was in Stand By Me, and suddenly I was just like, yo, like, and kids around me was like,
It was like glowing gold to them and
Yeah.
shit. Like, oh.
do you know like when Ving Rhames in Pulp Fiction like
Yeah.
opens
Yeah.
something, and it's just like gold. That's what the kids around me were like. I was just like opening it, showing them the shit. And just like, what do you know about that shit? It's like, what do you know about that shit? I was like acting like I'm some like sort of. Oh,
You were really just feeling people out. I was like,
I banged this chick last week.
oh,
I was like 6, 7, whatever, trying to like act like I'm the boss.
that's
Like,
hilarious.
and one kid was like, "I'm gonna tell on you," and I was like, "Don't tell on me." They're like, "No, I'm gonna go and tell on you," and I was like, "Yeah, like this could compromise my." In my head, I was like, "It's like 24." Dude, it's like close to the end of the episode. It's the cliffhanger, and then suddenly like, they're just like, "Fuck." They're gonna go and tell the headmaster exactly what I've done.
You're gonna get a call.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go Jack Bauer. And do you know the only way that I can go Jack Bauer? I'm gonna rip one page out, piece by piece, and flush it down the toilet. So I went to the toilet.
Why? You should have ran to the guy before and been like, he gave me this magazine.
Bro,
I've dropped him in it.
I was on a different level. I went espionage. I went to a whole different level. I was fucking like, I was Sam Fisher. I was like running to the fucking like toilet. They had to hold an emergency assembly in the evening because the toilet had been blocked. And the janitor stood at the front of the assembly and was like, someone thought they could get away with something. I just held all this sodden bits of paper, dripping. They were still dripping because like, obviously it blocked the toilet, and they're holding this like G jugs that are just like depressingly like malted together, like dripping down, and like they're like, I'm in the assembly watching. It's like, what a piece of shit. At the same time, sweat is going down my hair. I'm just like, they know it's me. They know it's me. It's like at the end of the assembly, it's like, Mikhail. That's a real name. Mikhail, could you come and see Mr. Butterworth? Real head teacher. And I have to go, and I'm sitting there. And it's like, I found it in a bush, and I thought I'd be cool. And that is probably that is one of my most embarrassing
You
stories
know
of
you
porn.
could have like come out of that scot-free and been like, I found that disgusting filth in a bush and I thought I'd flush it.
I was 7. What were you expecting? What were you expecting at
So you told
7?
me you were mature.
You were having
Oh,
sex at 12,
At
but you weren't
Yo,
thinking
at
like that
12?
at 7? Like,
Yeah, but like,
Like there was a lot of growing up between 7 and 12.
okay, so my next most embarrassing experience with porn, I like,
have you ever made your own porn?
yeah, I talked about that. I wrote it. Like, obviously.
No, I mean like with someone.
Oh yeah, of course, that's happened.
Like
many-
on your camera phone, or did you like use
Yeah,
actual-
yeah.
Have you ever
did
used
you
your
go, like,
DSLR?
Like your whole thing with the DSLR and the
Not
lights?
since I've been like an adult, but when I
Yeah.
was like a kid, of course.
You edited it.
I'd never edited it. No, I was just,
And put it
I just
on,
watched it for myself. I was like,
like,
yeah,
FCP.
I'm a fucking G. But like that was like a whole different story. My second most embarrassing thing with porn, I remember like, shout out to my mum and dad. They'll probably listen to this, but like, thanks Sarah. They'll really appreciate that. I remember like when I was younger,
I have
like,
respect for parents. They're great.
tell my mum and dad you respect them.
I respect you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for having him.
I'm here.
And tell my parents you're proud of me.
I'm proud of him. He's a great guy. Thanks for having him.
See, honestly, porn stars endorse us. So that's a story. But so I remember like maybe our family computer used to be in the kitchen. And like we moved to like Kent. Like I'd been living up North Yorkshire my whole time, and the family computer was in Kent, and it was downstairs. The living room was the floor up, and I used to go down when I was like 12, 13, watch porn, have a cheeky bash, done.
That's so cute. You guys say the cutest things.
But like that was like that was my life when I was younger. I didn't like. That might have been the noise. What was the sound effect? Yeah, maybe. I remember like it was at that time of life where you just like you see that they used to do weird shit like call this number, and you'd call a number, they'd be like, oh hello, I'm taking my wet panties off.
Oh
You
my
know
like,
we do
yeah,
that for a
shit.
living, right?
What right now?
Yeah.
I thought that was like back in the
No, they
90s.
still do it.
I thought it just got
Yo.
modernized to
What's it-
webcams now.
No. It's like even more modern. You can text message and call me.
Oh shit.
Oh
And
wow.
we can trade dirty pictures.
I mean, that's crazy. People are doing that now, go outside. But like generally, what I would like say at that time when I was like 12, 13, and still I wasn't like confident enough to go outside and do shit. I was like signing up to like milfhunter.com. Probably
I
one of
was
my
on
early.
that.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
probably.
on
It was an early memory of mine. It's a pleasure.
It was
Thank
hard
you.
to get free porn back in the
13-year-old
day.
Liam says
Yeah.
thank you very much.
How old are you now?
28.
Okay, so yeah, that's almost exactly right because I was about 24, 25 when I was on.
I mean,
when I was on Milf Hunter.
excellent. At that time, I definitely
Yeah.
probably watched that. I mean, that was.
We were in a car. That's all I remember. I think
Oh
it
no,
was-
I remember that episode. We went way back. We went way back.
Nice to finally meet you.
Oh, did you feel it at the time? Did you know what happened?
Yeah, do you have like
I
a
had a
sense?
hunch.
Did you know you're just like?
I am making a young boy named Liam in England's life complete right now.
Oh, at that time,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's what it's for.
I was watching MILFHunter.com.
Right, I'm familiar.
Yeah, you know the website?
I might know that site.
So like, I was like, ooh, come Fiesta, what's going on there?
Oh, I know
Ooh.
that one too.
Oh, really? Have you featured?
Maybe.
Hello, big tits round asses?
Oh,
Oh, hello.
I don't know.
I feel like that might be a website that you could segue, but like I remember we flyed outside of like a club and like we were trying to fly for an event and no one was paying attention, so we'd like, if an Asian guy came out, we're like, hentai, and we'd just like hold out the leaflet that was about battle rap, and just like, milfhunter.com, my friend's hot mum, and we'd just like hand stuff out under the
awesome.
guise that we were like in porn. But 13 to 14, young Liam, what was I up to? You may ask. What was I up to? So I was in my parents' kitchen porn dome. It wasn't. They didn't know it was called that. For me, it was.
You named it. You
Okay.
named
I mean, I
your,
didn't know name
your
it.
little station, like.
I'm coming up with names now. I mean, like, this might be something that could embarrass me in
So
future
you
life.
went
But
to
who
the
knows?
kitchen? Is that what you're about to tell me?
Ooh, did I?
That was your station to Lincoln. That's
Oh,
like
did-
your office.
Did I? Who knows?
Yeah, your mom and dad probably wouldn't like to know that you're
I'm sorry, Mum.
kitchen
They
I'm
cabinet.
know.
sorry. Dad.
no.
I mean, like, no,
I hope you use disinfectants.
It's-
Liam's mom, I hope you use disinfectant.
yeah, that is like.
this is the harrowing moment that my mum finds out what's happened in her kitchen.
Oh my
So like,
God.
She
basically,
realizes.
I was in my mum's house watching probably you. Hello. But I was like, I was on milfhunter.com and I used to be like, oh, I'll pay for it.
Thank
And
you.
as a piece of
Thank
shit,
you.
I might have used my mum's card details.
Might
You know
have.
what? I still appreciate it.
You appreciate it?
Yeah, sorry, mom, but yeah, no, thank you for not stealing it.
I didn't want. At that stage, I
Thanks.
wasn't on that whole fucking like Napster vibe.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I mean,
Yeah, because if you downloaded it, the evidence was there. You might forget or something. And at
oh,
that
was
age,
the evidence there if you did that?
Do you know what I mean?
What happened
Like-
when my mum came home and was like, bank statements come through. What is milfhunter.com?
They didn't even put discreet names on
have
it.
a discreet name for that?
No, it was like.
This was before that.
Well, not only that, even if they do have a discreet name, your mom's still gonna call and be like, "What's SCW Entertainment or whatever."
I ran
That's not
up
their
a
name, by the way.
£500 bill.
Wow.
Did you guys have 900 numbers here?
No, it's America.
Right. So in that they stopped that right quick. But when I was around that time, 13, 14 years old, we had 900 numbers, and everybody was getting phone bills like that. Like
Really?
everybody was getting $800 phone bills because of these 976 numbers.
That is fucking crazy. We had, what was the numbers that would cost a lot of money in England?
Wasn't it 800?
Yeah, 800 numbers.
Oh, our 800 numbers are free.
Our 800 numbers were a piss take.
I think it's something like if it's 0800, it's free, and if it's 800, it's not free.
No, in England we had like
Trickery.
fucked up shit. I feel like maybe I've got like some more stories.
Wait, I'm gonna drop this one because the
Go
world
on.
needs to know what piece of shit I can be sometimes, right?
Okay, that's
So-
pretty deep.
It's embarrassing porn stories or whatever, yeah. And the only embarrassment is like, basically, when I found out that China, God bless her soul, had died, I decided I'd pay her tribute by watching over her old videos. Which is pretty bad, but most of you did it as well, so... like... What's this mean?
Her giant clit.
Yeah, but like, it wasn't about
Like-
that. It was like a...
Her giant clit is like this.
That's really disturbing. Are you trying to make me lick it? Because I feel like that's fucked up.
No, I just wanted you to know what it feels like to have a giant clit in your face.
What is it like?
It's like...
I didn't appreciate
It'd
that
be wet
at all.
and yeah, like a dog or something.
Yeah.
Bam, we're waiting for you.
Continue.
That's it.
You watched her porno and it was
Like, yeah, and I just want
So to celebrate her death, you watched
as
her
a
porno.
tribute
You didn't
to
watch her
body.
classic WWFs. She had so many good fights.
Yeah, she does actually. But her clit is pretty amazing.
Is it?
I don't. You obviously didn't watch. I mean, her clit, because of the testosterone and stuff, it makes your clit swell. And clits are really just tiny penises anyway. So yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's a fact, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you believe in evolution or what your thoughts are on.
And so
creation
squirt
and
is
stuff.
pee.
It's pre-piss. Yeah.
It is, yeah, it's pretty
It's
pissed.
pre-piss, basically like pre-cum, but piss. Yeah, pre-piss.
How do you feel?
Is that
I
alright?
need
with
a
you? Yeah.
cold shower.
It's okay though. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. But like, yeah, she has a giant clit.
Yeah, she does.
Can I like hit you with some things that are like
But I just
fans-
wanted to ask, how should men celebrate porn stars? When they retire, then
That's fine.
if they die,
That's fine.
there you
know
go.
what? I feel like I might not be the person to ask though, because I definitely recently put somebody who had deceased in a movie, like, and I wanted to put a memorial on the movie, like in memory of. And my editor was like,
It ends and it comes in.
my editor was like, no, we're not doing that. I was like, oh damn, okay.
that is.
Yeah.
Imagine like someone is like still trying to bust after the fact,
Yeah.
and then suddenly it's like in loving memory of.
Well,
He's like, and this
you know,
one's for
You
you.
have to realize that I am a woman, and sometimes I think like a man, but then a lot of times I miss points like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't do that, Sarah. That's not, yeah.
It's not like acceptable in the porn realm.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
no, in memory.
Okay, so basically, a bunch of our fans have messaged in with problems that they're going on through at the moment, and they'd like really appreciate it if we can help them with that.
Yeah, that's it.
So basically, the first one that I want to hit you with is both my parents think I'm gay. This is partially due to the fact that I've only introduced them to one girlfriend of mine over 2 years ago, but mainly because both my brothers told my parents that I'm definitely gay. My problem is that I'm definitely not gay. I'm not at a time in my life where I need or have time for a girlfriend. And although it's crossed my mind, I don't think it would be fair on my future other half if I got a girlfriend just to prove that I'm not gay. I also don't think it would be appropriate to tell my parents that the odd one night stand I have with women from dating sites. How can I prove to my parents that I'm not gay?
Right.
Well, you are gay, from what I'm getting from that message.
I feel like the real problem is
Yeah.
you need to absolve yourself from having to prove to your parents anything and just be like, fuck it, they think I'm gay, who cares?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think it like goes past that? Do you not like think it's like weird that like both your brothers try to stitch you up?
Well, I have to say that my parents thought I was gay, but it was because I liked older men, and yeah, they thought that I just didn't like men. You know, that's why I hadn't lost my virginity. I just hadn't told them. So I just feel like you should just change your whole outlook on that and be like, you know what, whatever you think, go for it. I'm gonna live my life.
Yeah.
So basically, this guy could evolve himself if he wanted to, but he's too worried about what his parents think. Sorry.
I think
Kind of, yeah.
I think he should turn up with a guy just to freak him out.
Oh, you're an asshole.
So you'd go to the extent of being like, "Hello." I mean, like, I'm not gonna do a gay
You
accent.
don't have to have a voice to be gay.
Right.
Did I go too far?
No, like, but you could be like, Mom and
Sup,
Dad, this
I'm
is,
gay.
Mom and Dad,
Yeah.
this is my best. This is my partner, Michael.
So like, I feel like
This is my partner, Michael.
I feel like go prison gay. If you're gonna do
Yeah.
anything, just be like, tell them, be like, "Sup,
Oh
Yeah, like-
shit,
this is George."
Yeah.
George. Michael.
My man partner.
Wham. I
Full
mean,
circle.
okay. We definitely had to. But basically, so point number 2, question that people are really worried about. My friend has a really nice pair of trainers, sneakers. Every time I ask him where he got them from, he asks, "Why do you keep trying to copy my style?" And we get in a big heated debate, which ends with me yelling at him about how he stole my girlfriend when we were in high school. My question is, how do I fund my short film efficiently and attract potential investors?
Right. Okay. So you need to start like a GoFundMe or like
Yeah.
an Indiegogo, and then market it on social media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe shoot a trailer for now just to get people interested. and then be like, we can deliver the whole thing if you help us.
But do you feel like he's got any sort of personal qualm with the fact that he mentioned the fact that he's got really bad stuff going on with his friend right now? I feel like he wasn't really
there was a
asking us about the
distraction.
question. Was he trying to distract us?
No, he's
No, that's
distracting
just-
us.
That's
Because he
yeah.
wanted to really ask the second question, and the first question was a distraction.
So why did you tell us about the first question?
Okay, because he thought if he would just ask you the second question, you might throw it away and just hit delete because you're like, "Ugh, somebody else that wants to get in on the fucking business, delete." So instead, he lured you. He threw the fishing line out and lured you in with the fucking like relationship question, like friendship question, right?
I feel this guy has fucking like used me.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I feel like like little raped.
used again.
It's not the first time, as you guys know. I've shared too much with you guys. Okay, so this one is really fucking like hardcore. This is actually fucked. This one is like probably the deepest question that we've ever been asked. It's gonna be hard for all of us to comprehend, but
Okay.
my friend that I hadn't seen in a while asked me to come to see him because he had stuff going on that he wanted to talk about. To be honest, I delayed it. It wasn't something I was interested in. I tried contacting him a few days ago. I got no reply. It turns out that he drowned and most likely committed suicide. How would I go about blaming myself for this?
Wow.
I mean, this
How
is...
would I go about blaming myself?
That was his question
If
to
that's
us.
the question, then it's like jump in with him.
Like you
But-
already did, I think. Blame yourself by asking that question. No.
Yeah, I feel like
Well-
this whole thing has put us on a back foot. Like, he's asked us to...
Blame him.
Basically,
Yeah.
he
I think
wants
he
to
wants
know.
to be a martyr.
Yeah, so basically, he needs to stop being all about himself and just fucking
Yeah,
like look
he's
after
being
his friend.
selfish.
He's being
And
selfish.
his
Yeah.
friend's dad.
And you know
Yeah.
what was selfish in the first place? He didn't go see his friend.
Yeah, he didn't.
It was selfish to not see your friend, and it's selfish to fucking send us this mail in the first place.
Yeah.
Basically,
Find a bridge and
I
jump.
can't name you, but basically, this all feels like it's all about you.
You should take some yoga and go find inner peace because you're really concerned about yourself and no one else.
Facts, straight from Sarah J's mouth.
I take yoga, and I like to share love.
Honestly, though, like, why is he mentioning something that obviously was his own fault?
I can't like tell you how to blame yourself. Decide what your punishment is and live with it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so basically, Guy, you should have been there. You weren't there.
Now you gotta live with that. That is your punishment.
Take it on the chin.
That is your
Suck it
punishment.
up.
Yeah.
And be a better person. You gotta learn from your mistakes and be a better person in the future. You can't always change the things you did in the past, but you can change what you're doing right now and what you're doing tomorrow.
Bang. Karma. So I was at a birthday party with people I worked with about 5 years ago. A dude I worked with invites me and another co-worker around his flat. He just happens to have a whole load of MCAT. It was like this legal like plant fertilizer shit.
It was basically like super cheap hip
It's like ketamine.
hillbilly ecstasy.
Yeah, it's hillbilly ecstasy. He has a whole lot of MCAT, some weed, and a box of Nos. Do you know the like
like
Nos
to know.
balloons?
Oh, is the
Laughing gas.
yeah.
It makes you buzz out.
Right, nitrous
We had
oxide.
a box of Nos each, plus a bunch of beers. The guy gets all emotional and starts confessing about his suicide attempts and fights with his stepdad and his broken down relationship with his ex. He's there crying whilst
fuck, I hate
listening to
when this
dubstep.
happens.
And to top it off, he confessed about the time he found his grandma on Tinder.
Respect to
I
Granny.
haven't spoken to him since, but what should I do?
Just not talk about it. Just X that night out of your life. We don't ever think about that night again. I mean, you can think about it, but you don't ever discuss it again. And just pretend like it didn't happen. It's just better for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Bring it up 8 years later.
What would you do? What would you do? What would you do if you found your grandma on Tinder?
I'd be asking questions.
Is grandma still married? Is grandpa still alive? Like, these are the things I need to know first. Like, I don't really, I mean,
I feel like old people should have a Tinder. Like, do you know what I mean? Like their own one. There's like sort of nicely catered where it's like, we can
Walker.
offer assistance if need be. Like, do you know what I mean? That, and push you down the beach and stuff like that. That would be cool. That's a good idea. Someone do that. But like, Tinder is just a hookup site. So Granny's on there getting down.
And you know what? Granny might be getting down with the younger guys by that kind of
Yeah.
market that Tinder is, yeah?
Yeah. I think we're making it worse for this guy.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that's our point. We're not trying to help these guys. These guys are fucked up.
Yep.
It's like basically another one. How do I pay back my ket dealer when my mother has flushed all my drugs down the toilet?
Well,
So
then
was
you
it-
obviously have to sell dick.
Is that the way to get out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Bam,
got
is that what you do?
if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. In my situation, I killed a drug dealer, but it's a different life.
Oh man,
Not everybody's
that
about that life.
that will take me to a story that I have. Is it alright if I go into a story off the back of this? You guys alright with
Go
that?
for it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I used to sell weed in university. It was a quick way to make money.
Allegedly sold.
Yeah.
I mean, sold.
You
It
may
was.
have.
Yeah, I might have. Who knows? I'm in a position where I can't do those stuff, but maybe I did. Who knows?
It was a rumor though.
It was a rumor.
Yeah.
So is this rumor going on about me? Silly. But basically, I was selling weed to some guys who are big on TV at the moment. You know, like people just do nothing, and like that's the way that people live. It's not the name of a show. Don't worry. But I was selling weed to some guys, and my friend was like, "Yo, like, if we sell like half a key to this guy, we can make like £400 in like 10 minutes." And I was like, "Really?" So yeah, no. This guy is a friend of mine. There's no problem whatsoever. We'll just sell some weed to him. It's gonna make us an extra like £400, no problem. So this guy comes around our house. We buy like a couple of kilos or something, maybe, who knows. And this guy comes around. He's just like, "Yo, like, safe, bro. Like, can I try a joint?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." So I roll a zoo. We're like smoking it together. Passy, he's like, "Yeah, it's real good weed, man. Do you mind if I just go to the toilet?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. Go to the bathroom, restroom, whatever you know." And it's fine. And he like goes to the restroom, you know that. And I've got a kilo in the bag. Guy's like gone to the restroom, and he comes out, and like I knew it was fucked up. He'd spent like 20 minutes in the bathroom, and I was like, something's going on, man. Something's going on.
Yeah.
And the guy comes out, he passes me an envelope. I'll pass him the kilo, and like I open the envelope while he's like sitting opposite me. We're staring at each other, and I open it, and there's like £100 either side of the envelope, and in the middle is
With the stack of
all
papers.
paper.
Mm-hmm.
And like I like straight away I start chasing the guy as he tries to run out, and at this point
Allegedly.
in my head, allegedly, it's not something that happened, but like at this point I'm just like, I could tackle this guy and beat him up, but he knows where I live, and like this is gonna get fucked up. What do I do?
Yeah.
If I like tackle this guy, what do? Do I chain him to a chair? Do I like put this into a situation that I can never go back from in my life? And I leave it. I stop. I turn around to the guy who like arranged the situation. I grab him by the throat. I put him up against the wall. And I say, "You've got like 5 days. You owe me like £1,000. If you don't pay it within 2 days, then stuff's gonna get a bit different." But
Oh, like a G.
Yeah.
I had to at that time.
You're
What
like,
was
you
I gonna
have
do?
5 days, but you really got 2.
Yeah. But like at that time, what are you gonna do? Like this was a situation where I might have ended up owing. Like I don't do that shit anymore. It was some like weird situation in my life where like in university you get 1,500 for like 3
It's
months.
different because it's just it's like selling to friends or hooking up a friend or whatever. Like.
But no,
on
even
the
still,
whole.
like back in them days, yeah, when you're in university, like college, you get like 1,500 to last you
It's like
3
buying
months.
a case of water and selling it to a friend for $1 a piece. you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly. So like at that time, we were getting 1,500 for 3 months, but like we were like making money that was like £1,000 a week from doing that shit. Like it's not something I'd ever do again. But at that point, I was like, this is the hustle. This
Yeah.
is how we're gonna make that money. And as soon as that happened, I was like, this is gonna turn into Boys in the Hood. This is gonna turn into Kidulthood. This is gonna turn into a
The
situation.
boys in Kent.
But bruv, like, no, this is when I was living in Kingston, and I remember like, what would I do in that situation? Like, if I beat this guy up, which I could have done,
Yeah.
what would happen then?
Send
And
a
like, all you're
message.
thinking about is like, what will happen after that situation? That if you stop this person,
Oh.
shit is all
Like,
gonna
I
break
couldn't
loose.
help but want to get in his pockets though. Like I need to see what you have on you right now. I want that, whatever that is. I definitely want everything in your
Yeah.
pockets.
Phone, everything.
Yeah, like
You're not in your pockets.
yeah. No, I
What you
need.
got for me?
I don't know after that, but I know I need that confirmation that you don't have nothing.
Plus,
Because
like-
whatever
Yeah.
you do have, I'm taking it. I'm taking your watch. I'm taking your ring. I'm taking your fucking Louis Vuitton fucking wallet or whatever, and your iPhone.
Fuck you,
Like
just took
that.
my iPhone.
Like that.
I like. This isn't video right now, but I literally just got robbed by fucking Sarah J. What the
Slipping.
fuck?
Slipping.
And the final question we got for tonight before we
Oh.
end this:
I did stab
Oh,
a pickpocket, by the way.
you stabbed a pickpocket.
No, I didn't stab him. I stopped him. Like I tackled a pickpocket and like searched his pockets. Like I.
Did you tump him up?
Yes,
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
tumped him up.
Yes, I did. I totally did.
That's what Batman would do, and that's what
Yes,
she
I was
did.
in Amsterdam.
Yo, Amsterdam pickpockets are crazy as well. Like,
This
so
dude
much
was
criminals on
reaching
the
in
street.
my girl's pocket pocket and I saw him and I just went and I got him and I kicked him on the ground and I started beating him up and then I had a hold of him by his neck and I reached into his pocket and made sure he didn't have anything, a purse. And then the store owner comes over.
you have just taken new levels
Yeah.
in my aspects. You are a fucking G.
Yeah, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Finally, how drunk do you have to, how waved? You know waved.
No, but I
On a
like
wave.
Waved.
Wait,
Like, if
it's-
you're
it comes, yeah,
fucked,
wavy.
Yeah.
So how waved do you have to be to open a €1,000 bottle of wine at 7 a.m. in the morning?
Well, I don't do that ever. There's not any amount of drugs that would get me to do that, to be honest. with
Cocaine?
you. No drugs. No, I would never do that.
I mean, you don't do drugs.
No, even if I did do drugs, I can't even fathom that. But I know people who like to wipe their ass with $100 bills because they can.
Well, what if you don't know it costs €1,000?
Oh,
So you just open a bottle of wine and then you get a bill.
yeah. I've had moments like that happen with like cheese and stuff.
€1,000 cheese.
No, but like, yeah, long story. Anyway, yeah, I've had unexpected, like where you're intoxicated and you're like, yeah, I'll buy that and I'll take that. And you're like, oh, that's more than I anticipated. How did my dinner come up to $400? I'm just one person though. How did that happen? Yeah, that sucks. You just have to take it on the chin, like, fuck.
Do you know what I would do? I'd just be like, yeah, one moment. Do you have a toilet? Like, go to the toilet, and I'd be in there for around 20 suspicious minutes. Come back with an envelope, 10 on either side, and a stack of paper.
That's good. That's
And before they knew it, I'd be out that door just
Yeah.
like that guy.
good. Yeah.
Sick. Well, thank you very much, Sarah.
No,
Yeah,
it's
thank
Like
you
my
very
that
pleasure.
was
much.
probably like the best first episode we could have had.
Yep.
Bam, what's your sign out? You've had a very strong intro. What
That
was your
was the
sign out?
sign out. I ended on an anecdote.
Anecdote. Anecdote.
That is
what's
my
the word?
outro.
Anecdote.
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 What was your word?
Anecdote.
Straight. Thank you. Done.